Do you have the right team? What role do you play? Well, if any heist is to go off without a hitch, each member of the team must play their role. And I thought with the new D&D book, Keys from the Golden Bolt, coming out soon, why not explore what roles each of the D&D classes do best? So in the next thieving adventure that you go on, you know exactly the role that you play to make your heist exactly like the movies. Artificers are the engineers. Engineers are great at all things safe cracking, trap dismemberment, and finding key elements of their environment to aid in their goal. Like clipping a rope so a chandelier falls on the ground, or throwing an object under a falling stone door to keep it open long enough to slip right through. They always have the right tool for the job as they whip up a gadget to get where they need to be. And with their knowledge of engineering, they might also know a thing or two about vent layouts to climb in, or the integrity of a wall in order to break it down. Everyone needs a good improviser or a MacGyver. Now, barbarians are the muscle. The muscle, of course, is great at intimidation and getting information they need from smacking people over the head or tying them up. They're also great when it comes to hauling the treasure out once you have it. If you're lucky, you'll be carrying out bags of gold or other treasure when you succeed. And of course, there might be a door or two that needs knocked down if the rogue or artificer can't open it. So in the same realm, they make an excellent plan B. When things go bad, having someone to absorb damage from traps is nice, and of course, a good punch in the right place might make the difference when you're caught. Bards, of course, are the conmen. The conman is the face and the mouth of the group, possibly the scout that brought the party together and inspired the mission in them in the first place. They're a jack of all trades that makes them a great leader and fills in the gaps where the party might be missing. They rely on their charm and silver tongue to get what they want, and have no hesitation sweet-talking guards, nobles, or anyone in between. They are the soft and gentle distractions that lead a threat joyfully down the hallway laughing while everyone else sneaks past the hallway. Clerics are the planners. Planners have the wisdom to plan in advance. They are aware of what might go wrong, and they may even inquire of higher beings and information to see what paths lead to weal or woe. They might have even been the person to give the quest or mission to your party in the first place, and requested to come along to make sure that the plan goes off without a hitch. They heal, support, give boons, whatever it takes to make sure plan A sticks and the muscle doesn't turn into plan B. Even if it does, a divine intervention might come in handy. Maybe even question a few of the dead people who saw you and you had to dispose of. Druids are the Reconnaissance, and recons do exactly that. These are great at making the unknown known. With your ability to speak with plants and animals that may have no stake in a successful mission, it is easy for you to get the information that you need. If not, turning into a bird to get a bird's eye view of the castle or sending an insect familiar to map out a dungeon before you enter will give you an advantage before the heist even begins. Monks are the stuntmen. Stuntmen get into the hard-to-reach places, whether it be a contortionist to get through a small opening or scaling a wall to get through a window. Monks are there to shine. They rely on their acrobatics to get rooftop access, get into the raptors above a high-profile meeting, or cartwheel their way through a room full of lasers. They might also be great in suspending themselves on a rope, Mission Impossible style, to avoid traps altogether. Fighters are the inside man, and I'll be honest, fighters I had some trouble figuring it out because, hey, they're fighters. What are they doing in a heist? But the inside man can be a really useful aspect of the team, but often is only on the team out of requirement. The inside man can be the guy without skills, but is there for a special reason. Either their involvement with the subject of the mission, or someone with key information that the success of the mission depends on. But in many cases, that can also be the wild card. One that doesn't understand the rules of the game and may mess up the plan by attempting roles that they are not best at. Either offending a key NPC that the bard is trying to swoon, or springing a trap when the artificer is undoing it. If anything, they are the plot device to make things more interesting. Paladins are the new kid. The new kid is also a great plot device, but often one out of the action until necessary. They are the ones with more of a moral compass and personal tenets that they live by and prefer to keep their own hands out of the dirty work. They may be the voice of reason to an overambitious or greedy party members, which may keep them in check, but that is why they are also put on the getaway driver duty. One to again break down a wall to get their friends out and summon steeds to get them out of dodge. But if a plan goes really wrong, they are also the sacrifice. The one that falls behind and tells the party to go on without them, telling them that they believe in them and that there is good in them if they search for it. They take the fall and accept a life behind bars unless the party likes them well enough to break them out again. Rangers are the lookout. Lookouts are important as they sense dangers before they are close enough to cause any real damage. Whether they are with the party and find evidence of cheaty devils or slimy gorgons, or on a rooftop across the street acting as a sniper to make sure that those dangers don't even get close. They also familiarize themselves with the land to help their friends pass without a trace, up close or from afar, warning them of troubles ahead. A very much guy in the van kind of vibe, and also can summon a couple animal seeds if they need a good getaway as well. Rogues are the thief, and thief is a pretty straightforward one, as I think the rogue has a very obvious and common role in heists, picking locks, stealth, and sleight of hands being the main ones. Great at single stealth needs and more of a hands-on approach than the druid's wild shape, but with more of a risk of making themselves vulnerable. What they really excel at is being assassinators, a one-shot kill of the mission target or a quick slit of the throat of a passersby who noticed you. They are most likely the veteran of the group that has done this for a very long time. Sorcerers are the distraction. The distraction makes things go boom. A demolitionist or arsonist by nature that uses their magic to push the attention away from your group, and that may mean toppling a building across the street. While the bard makes a more personal approach to distracting individuals, sorcerers may cause a ruckus that can clear a whole building. On the other hand of that though, they are also the cleanup crew, one to make sure that the evidence is all burned away and no one can tie the heist back to you or your group. No bodies, no problem. Ooh, that would make a good shirt. Warlocks are the plot twist. The plot twist is exactly that, and every good heist needs one. The one member of the party that you thought was straight-laced and a team player, only to have them double-cross you in the end. And I mean, with being a warlock, you know that they would do anything for wealth or power. They may have already sold their soul away. But the great thing about double-crossers is that they also make great fall guys. Someone to place the blame on completely if you play your cards right. Will you allow them to get away with your hard-earned MacGuffin to save yourself? Or will you chase after them and jeopardize the mission for the sake of saving it? Wizards are the hackers. And hackers in a modern setting are more the ones that can manipulate security cameras and make the enemy's tools their own. Well, for wizards in more of a medieval fantasy setting, they essentially do the same thing. Turning off scry spells with dispelling magic, making enemies fight for you, disguising themselves or a party member, uncovering invisible bombs, and doing an assortment of puzzle solving with their vast magical arsenal. They are basically the chair guy, but the chair guy came with you. Now these are just based off generic class tropes, as I am well aware that the plethora of subclasses that can change these roles or have completely new ones altogether. But hopefully with your group, you can pick and choose a good 4 or 5 characters from these roles to build out the perfect team for the job. And let me know what your go-to team is in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give the video a like, and if you like my content, I'm about to release a Spelljammer live play series on my Patreon. It is honestly the best way to support me in this channel as I navigate the playing field of TTRPGs, and I strive to give you the best content that I can. So with the live play and my monthly magazine that I put out for TTRPG content, I promise that it will help you put the edge on your creativity and world building. Links in the description below. If you're more into anthologies and one-shots, check out my video on creating characters for the Radiant Citadel for all your plane hopping adventures. But in the meantime, go out there and spread the good word of TTRPGs and make the world a better place, both on and off the table. See you in the next one.